Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to take a mug and we're going to add some decals or decals to it. I've got some hearts, some lips, and a big full heart on this side. So let's get into Design Space and start crafting. So here we are in Cricut Design Space, and we're going to make some decals to fit on our mug. So let's go to Upload. Let's upload an image, and this time we are going to choose Valentine Mug Decal SVG file, and we're going to open it. It has all kinds of little decals we can use, and let's just save it. And let's pick on it and insert those images. And now what we want to do here is ungroup this whole works. And you'll see that some of the pieces on some things are a little bit different, like the U came out of this one. But what I want to do right now is I want to move the bottom piece and the top piece. And this is exactly what we want. We don't really care if we have these words or not. You can save them for something else if you want. Have them come out separately. So what I can do is just highlight those. And we have two little circles cutting in the middle here that I want to get rid of. So let's click on that and shift click on that, and let's delete those little circles so you can see right through here. And you'll notice you have a big circle here for the O and the love, but I want to keep them exactly like that. So the love you over here, let's just highlight it. Let's weld those together so that they become a decal of their own. And then of course this is pretty small, so let's just make it a little bit bigger so we can cut something out with that. Now I just want to group that together, and they will cut in different papers, so they don't need to, decal material, vinyl, so you want to keep them just grouped because you want them to cut on different pages. Now we have our lips in two pieces, which is really interesting. So what I want to do is take these lips, I am going to weld them together, and then we can decide what size we want them. The same is going to be true for these lips as well. And I'm just going to weld them together. When you have an SVG file, you can weld these together and put them together differently. This little guy is going to be all by himself. No need to make any changes for him. We have another set of lips that I can pull apart like this. So what I'm going to do is highlight both of those. I am going to weld them together so they are one piece. And we have another pair of lips here. I am going to weld those. Those are a little more jagged. They might be a little more fun to put on a mug. And of course we have a nice big heart. Then we have the XOXOXO, and it is simply a cut file, so we're all good to go here. The word love is in two different pieces here, so we'll highlight it, we will weld it so it stays together. And this one all by itself is a cut file. This is really intricate, so it's something you might want to consider. When I pull it apart, take a look what happens. So you want to make sure that you have all the pieces together for this. So let's highlight it. Let's weld it together so it is one piece. And now we don't have to worry so much. Now it is smallish. It's about 2-3 inches, so that's not too bad. You can make it any size you want. And of course here's our last piece that we want to make. Now I kept these all a little bit different color because what we want to do, of course, is make these with a vinyl. Now you can make these from permanent vinyl if they're going on a mug. That is the best thing to do, is a permanent vinyl. You can find some colors that you really like. We can make these all one color and put them all on one mat to make it easier for the cut, so you can cut out small patches. So we have a red heart here, and we have a different color lips. So what we can do is go back here and make them all the first one, and then we can see if they will fit on the same mat. So let's save this, and this is a Valentine mug decal set. Now you don't have to do all of these. You can delete what you don't want. So let's just save that. So let's click over to make it, and you're going to see it's all going to come out on the same mat. So now here is the chance to decide what colors you want here, because now if you want to have this love in one color and the love you maybe the same color, and maybe the top part of this one all one color, you can put those together and just cut out a piece of paper that all fits here. We have an XXXO. Maybe we want to add that one as well, so we can have one nice big strip of 2 inches by 12 inches that goes here, and that will cut out one. Now we may decide that this set of lips, oh, didn't want to come down here. Come on down, set of lips. You may want to have some lips that are all the same color. Let me just get our heart out of here. So let's put some lips together. The lips can all be the same color if you want. And maybe we want to have these ones all one color and these ones all one color. So we've now set it up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors that we can use. Just going to bring these down so that they kind of match and we're in the same piece of paper that we want to use. You can change the orientation of these a little bit if you want to make sure that you don't waste any of your vinyl. So we're going to use a permanent vinyl, and this is going to go on our mugs. So we're all ready to go ahead and cut this, and I will see you at the demo table. So I have all the pieces and parts now for doing our mug. I have some parchment paper, which is going to be really interesting, and I have prepared one of these. I've put the transfer tape over top and a piece of parchment paper on the back, and I'll tell you the reason for that a little while later. I have put my transfer paper over top of all of these components. Just going to slice them apart. And I wanted to apply these individually, so just cutting them apart really becomes a much easier way to do things. So I'm going to start with, just move some of these out of the way for now. Now you'll see I have nice big bubbles in my transfer tape here, and that's because I reuse my transfer tape. And it doesn't really matter if you have the bubbles. What I want to do is make sure that this will peel off exactly the way I want it. And I'll just put this aside because I can save this again. What I want to do is actually take my parchment paper, and this is not just for layering, but this is for helping to make stuff a lot easier when you're going to apply it to a mug. Now all I've got here is transfer tape, the vinyl that we cut out, parchment paper, a mug that I'm going to use, and of course my weeding tool and a pair of scissors. So there's not a lot happening for a lot of this. So now I have a mug that I got from Starbucks that I really want to put another design on it. I definitely do not want to leave the Starbucks thing on top of it. So I've picked a few of these that will go over top, such as the lips will go over top, but you'll still see the Starbucks. But that's okay too, because then we can decide, you know, what do we want to show through, or do I want to put it off to the side so I cover part of it and then cover the other part of it. Now you could end up with a thicker design to get rid of it. For example, I could use my heart and just go over top of it, and maybe that's what I will do with this one. Just move this aside. Let's get this one going. And I'm going to cut another piece of parchment paper to fit this one as well. Peel off my back. And I've got some parchment paper right here. Put that to the side. Now I'll tell you the reason I'm going to use the parchment paper is because I can get this started And what I'm going to do is just peek it over the top just a little bit so you can see the top coming through. And here is where I'm going to line everything up with the top pieces and get those stuck in first, because I want to make sure that that is smooth. I should be able to pull this right off. Now you see I do have some bubbles here. I am going to save my parchment paper for a little later. So I mean my transfer tape, I will save that for a little better. Now you'll see you get some bubbles, and that's because of the curvature. Now you can take these and pop those bubbles, and with the curvature this is going to stretch a bit, so I usually take my weeding tool and just work these ones out. Now remember, you don't want to get your design too large, because if you get it too large, getting around the curves is a little more difficult. See, this seems to be coming out just fine. Now I can still see the Starbucks through it, but it's not as evident. So that's one part. Now I do have a Starbucks on the other side, but I'm going to put some other things on here. For example, I want to put my lips, and I think I'll put these lips right in here. Now the lips probably don't need the parchment paper aspect, because I can actually smooth this with my fingers to start. And let's just pull it back. And once again, I am going to save my piece of parchment paper. Not my paper, my transfer tape. Put that aside, then I can use it for another one. Now I haven't really pushed it down too hard because I want to work those bubbles out, and I work them out with my fingers quite often. Now this one has more of a bubble in it, so what I'm going to do is just gently push it. And because I didn't push this piece down that hard, I could have used my parchment paper underneath here. I'm just going to gently push it in bit by bit. And there we go, we have a nice set of lips here. And then I smooth it in with my fingers just to make sure things stay there. So now we're getting some really nice design going. Now I do have another Starbucks here, and I could use my little angel to go over top, or the word love. I may just leave that in here. I also have some X's and O's that I can place across. So as you can see, you can add lots of designs in on a mug. So we're going to add one more, and I think we'll use our couple of little hearts here. Now they're not going to come off easily. And let's see, let's just pull that one off. That was very simple. I'm just going to add those hearts, and I'm just going to stick them above. Now I'm going to start in the center here and push down. I don't add it all at once, because if you add it all at once, you're asking for trouble. So we just do it piece by piece. And this one can smooth up. Even if I have a little bubble, that's not to worry about it, because this one has a gap. It makes it a little easier to apply. Just pull that up a bit. Get around the edge. And I'm not going to smooth these end pieces down quite yet. What I am going to do is I'm going to pull off the paper. Now as you can see, when I pull off the paper, I get a loose end here, and now it will join at the bottom, and that's the way it was designed. Same with this one. I can now push it up, and as you can see, you get a nice pair of hearts. And I'm going to use my transfer tape again, so I'm just going to put it back on there. So that's all there is to adding a decal to a mug. This one I would probably work on pushing some more of the bubbles out, and you can do that with your hands. If you decide you don't like it, these are easy to take off, even though I use permanent vinyl. But this is how our lips and our hearts came out. I hope you really enjoyed making these. There's so many different designs you can use. You can use them in other projects as well. Well, I really hope you had some fun putting on some lips and I love yous on your mugs. We have the heart on one side here. We have some lips and another heart, and we had a little technique in order to get that heart to stay nice and straight. So until next time, happy crafting.